Okay, question 11 from the 2014. During a woodland survey, a group of students measured some abiotic factors. Readings they took included the temperature of the soil and the air. Name one other abiotic factor other than temperature which they could have measured in the woodland and describe the method of measuring this factor. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. You're going to get a mark for just actually saying the abiotic factor and then 1 mark for the method. So we're expecting, I would expect first, but it doesn't actually matter, but light intensity is a good one. pH, because you can do a soil pH, and also soil moisture. So you pick one of these and then you give a method. So all of these, the first thing I would do is name the bit of kit you're going to use. That's not going to get you the mark though. So we're going to use a meter for the light intensity, and you need to set to light, hold away from shadow. Oh, shadow. That doesn't look like an A. And read. That's it. The pH and the moisture are going to be very similar. What you should always do is wipe the probe so that you know you've not got any contaminant from whatever the last thing was you did. Okay. Place in soil. Take reading. Okay. During the survey, the students sampled the leaf litter in the woodland using pitfall traps. However, when they checked the pitfall traps 4 days after setting them up, the students discovered they were all empty. Describe an error the student might have made which would explain why there were no vertebrates in the trap. Okay, so the only thing they've told you is that they checked them 4 days after. Now that could be an error. Okay, if they left them for 4 days, then basically stuff in it might have escaped, or it might have been raided by something bigger, or like a bird or something like that. And then you're just looking for another, that would be fine. That would get you the mark. But if you're looking for another error, then you're looking for your kind of standard errors with pitfalls. One of the first errors that you've got is if you set up a pitfall trap like this, if this is the soil down here, then if you've got a little bug coming along, if you set it up like this, it'll just bump into the edge of the pitfall and wander off again. Okay, so the pitfall trap being too high or being above the ground is a major issue, because what you should have is the ground level, the pitfall trap, bang on that level, so that little bug coming along will fall in here. Okay. The next thing you could look at is not having something that is camouflaging it. So what you normally do is you set up a kind of, a couple of stones on either side, and then some form of camouflage, whether that's a leaf or they've been very careful, not necessarily a lid, because that sounds like there's then no holes, that it would be completely sealed, and they were very clear about that in the mark scheme. So, but something that's not camouflaging it or leaving it like that. And then I suppose your other thing is just that if you don't make it deep enough, then they could just get out, so being too shallow. So any error, but as I say, I probably would have lifted the fact that they said 4 days and just said that was left for too long. Okay, error was corrected, and the students set out the pitfall traps once again. The table below shows the number of the types of invertebrates and the numbers found. Use the information in the pie chart in the table, to complete the pie chart below. Okay, so we've got no slugs, so I'm going to just ignore those. What have we got? 35 and 20, so 55, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So this is all quite nice actually. They've given you 100 organisms here to use. Which could be much worse. So each of these divisions is a 5. So let's start with the first one. Woodlice, I need 35. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to do a line, and you would use a ruler because that is very wobbly. Okay, that's my woodlice. And then I've got a 20. 2, 3, 4. This is my beetles. And then I've got spiders, that's so 30, so 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 round. Oh, very, very wobbly. Spiders. And finally, you've got snails in here, okay, with 15, so 3 spaces. You would get 1 mark for doing the divisions. Doesn't actually matter what order you put them in. And then 1 mark for having labels on there. It's okay, just do it neatly. Those divisions would not be neat. Okay, students saw a large number of butterflies in the woodland. Give a reason why no butterflies were collected with the invertebrates. It's a very odd question in a way. It was pitfall traps. And butterflies can fly. So they're not going to end up in a pitfall trap, or if they were wandering about or they flew in, they can just fly back out again. Okay, and that's the question.